Hey everyone, we are here at SHOT Show 2020 and I am at the Holosun booth. If you guys are not familiar with Holosun, you really need to crawl out from under your rock. They have been in the market for a really long time, making very budget friendly and high quality optics, rifle red dots. They've even been doing like IR laser illuminators. They've been kind of covering their bases, and they've been doing the pistol red dots, which I'm already a fan of. I've got a little bit of time with them, but they have V2s, and then they also have some new ones that we're going to be talking about. So why don't you tell us a little bit about the V2s?
Okay, so all we really wanted to do was expand on the feature set or make it a little more user friendly, right?
Okay.
Because at times you don't know what everyone wants until you get it into their hands, and then once you get the feedback, you can go back and make some changes, and that's what we've done with V2. So essentially, we recognize that some of the complaints were every time I have to change a battery, I have to take my optic off. Right? And then once I take my optic off, I'm concerned that I'm losing my zero. I have to torque everything back down to the same specs, so forth and so on. So what we did is we made some slight changes, and we basically now put the battery on the side. We did have to change battery size. We went to a 1632, but we're maintaining 50,000 hours of battery life. So with dot only, you're going to look at 50,000 hours. Circle dot, 20,000 hours.
So only 2 years.
Exactly. So we still tried to maintain that extreme battery life, but make it a little more user-friendly so you don't have to take the dot on and off constantly to change batteries. So that was one of the big things. You'll also see a little bit of change in the shape of it.
Okay.
We actually kind of went to a more square profile.
Okay.
And what we found is that allowed us to beef it up a little bit and hold up to drop tests even more so than it was before. We also then heard some complaints about the size of the controls.
Okay.
So we made the controls a little bit larger and on the side. Again, with all the 5 series dots, you're going to get the interchangeable reticles. And on the 4 series, you're going to have now also the option for a 6 MOA dot.
Oh, okay.
So there will be some options available on the 4 and 5 series.
Awesome. So again, the pistol red dots have been really popular for a long time. Do they still use the same footprint as like the RMR?
Exactly the same, and still the same footprint as our V1. So we stuck with that RMR footprint for this size, and basically it'll bolt right in and on.
So if you have a full-size or even mid-size gun that's optics ready from the factory, if it's going to be optics cut for anything, odds are it's going to be able to work with the Holosun red dots. And again, the improvements to make it a little bit more robust, having it so you don't have to take it off, which I'm kind of one of those people that I think that's kind of much ado about nothing, but whatever, I get that people are concerned about that, so a lot of fixes there that I'm excited about. So kind of keeping in that same kind of genre, but shrinking it down, you guys are now hitting a market that is not very well catered to at the moment with your little micro dot. So can you tell us what that is?
Right, exactly. So what we saw is that the microgun revolution is upon us, right? Over the last couple of years, a number of manufacturers across the board have released new micro-sized pistols. Even some of the 1911 guys who you never thought you may have seen it out there are kind of doing that same thing. So you see it in the 1911 style. You've seen SIG do it with a P365, P365 XL, Springfield Hellcat. There are a number of different things out there, right? And for a long time, there was only really one other player making an optic for those shrunken guns. So we decided that was something we wanted to do as well. And we've released what is our 407 and 507K version. So it's slimmed down, but very similar to what we did with the version 2s. Still larger controls, still bolt straight down, no battery on the bottom, battery plate on the side.
Awesome.
So smaller footprint. Now recognizing that on a lot of these smaller pistols that have an optics plate, when you take off the optics plate, you may lose your sight. We actually integrated a rear sight cut into it. So it gives you somewhat of that feel of a rear sight, but it's actually just part of our dot. And it allows you to give maybe more of an index point and feel a little more comfortable just than having a raised dot.
And that's something that I haven't seen on a lot of the micro dots so far, is that integration of some sort of aiming method should your dot go down. Obviously on a carry gun, having a fail-safe is a very important thing, even though there are other ways to work around it. The inclusion of that, because everyone's always worried, well, what if my dot goes down?
Correct.
You still have some sort of sighting method as long as you can still see through the glass. And it's honestly on a gun this size,
I'm probably muzzling it more than I'm looking at my sights anyway.
Sure. But again, you can still use it adequately. I love seeing introductions like this into this market, which is very ready to be catered to.
Absolutely.
So I'm excited about that.
We obviously it's growing with all the big players releasing these micro single and double stack size pistols, and having something that could drop on there and look streamlined, not look out of place like a larger dot. I think is a lot of people, it has to be functional, but we like it to be aesthetically pleasing as well. So the aesthetics obviously help.
So with that kind of body style, that just kind of being a shrunk down of the V2s you guys have a new body style. Well, new-ish, it's actually being released now. And that is a fully enclosed red dot.
It's building on the capability and feature sets of the V2, but enclosing the emitter to make it even tougher, even stronger, keep things from falling in place and messing it up. Chewing gum, dust, whatever it may be. It's keeping that aspect from happening. So what we've done is we've shrunk it up a little bit, and again, larger controls on the side. Again, still has the solar backup if you need it, and then has the battery case on the side. So you don't have to take it on and off every time. Now, what it is it required us doing a proprietary plate in order to mount it. But we're working with all the manufacturers out there who is doing stuff like this, and we'll be able to cut a plate for their guns. If you go over to our little display with the real steel, you'll see we have it on an IWI Masada, on a Beretta, on a MOS. You name it, we've got it, we can cut it. It's just working with those manufacturers and getting all that information so that we can do it appropriately.
Well, and to me, the enclosed red dot is something that really excites me. There's been something else that recently came to market. However, this has a much smaller footprint and a much bigger field of view at the same time. So to me, the enclosed thing is where I think pistol red dots are going to go. I think that's the future, and seeing something in a much lower price range. These, I think, are MSRPing around $4-ish.
You got it.
And so having the ability to have something completely closed, something you don't have to worry about getting lint into and having to get a little Q-tip in there to wipe everything out.
While maintaining the battery life.
While maintaining the battery life, exactly. And that
battery life's critical. That seems to be, everyone wants to set it and forget it. And when you have that 20,000 hours, 50,000 hour battery life, it allows you to do that. So that's what we felt was critical.
And just kind of in general, I've been a fan, like I've said already, of the Holosun pistol red dots. Especially that dot and ring setup, I think lends itself very well to new shooters who are getting used to shooting pistol red dots, who may have an issue tracking that dot under recoil. Having that ring just increases the likelihood that some part of that's going to stay in your field of view and be able to get you to reacquire your sights more quickly.
And generally speaking, if you find any part of the ring, because you know what a circle looks like, you tend to index it to bring it right. So finding something 6 times bigger than a 6 MOA dot with a 32 MOA ring makes it a lot quicker and easier. We all know practice is the best option. However, we all know that we don't tend to practice. So doing that, I felt it is kind of, it gives an advantage, or it makes your learning curve quicker. It accelerates the learning curve.
And then if you decide you don't want that and you just want the nice clean dot,
when you get good at your draw,
you can just turn that thing off, and now you've got just your regular dot, or you can do just the ring. Again, a lot of versatility, as you've seen from all of the other Holosun products.
One thing that we did do that we thought was pretty cool was we maintained the Ip67 rating, the waterproof rating across the board in all the optics. So even on the K, the little compact, it's still going to be able to do that. I believe it's submersed at 3 meters for 30 minutes continuous, yada, yada, yada. I don't remember all of it, but I'm pretty sure that's close.
And that's important. In case you guys don't know, in Oregon it actually rains from time to time. So making sure that my dot's going to make it through a class if it's raining, and I don't have to think about it, or through like a speed steel course or anything like that where it's going to be out in the weather, because believe it or not, people do shoot in the rain.
Absolutely.
Not having to even think about it is just a really, really good thing. Anything else you want to talk about with these pistol red dots?
That's all that's really new for the year. We hope you like it. Obviously, we appreciate any feedback. That's what helped us come up with these, and the V2s and whatnot was based on feedback we got from customers and getting it out in the marketplace. So, you know, these will start shipping within the next 3 months. So if you were thinking about a 407 or a 507, and now this may help you make your decision, you're going to get the V2.
So if people want to know more about when things might be released, or product availability, or selection, or anything like that, where can they get that information?
Best thing to do is always start at the website with holosun.com. We did just release a new website with, I believe, this week, so while we're here at SHOT. So you should check it out. There should be a lot of the new product and the descriptions, specs, and whatnot on there, and that should help you maybe drive your decision and make some choices.
Awesome. So I'll have links either below or on the screen, depending on where you're watching this, because, you know, YouTube does fun things. So they will be that down there below, but also you can just Google Holosun. It's there. Check out their social media. It's definitely worth looking into. Again, bang for your buck while still maintaining exceptional quality. I don't think really anything beats Holosun in the pistol red dot game right now, and I don't foresee that changing anytime soon based on the innovation I'm seeing already. So if you guys want to see more coverage from SHOT Show 2020, definitely stay tuned for that. Thanks very much for your time.
Not a problem, Ryan. It's a pleasure.
Absolutely. So again, check out their website, check out their social media. But anyway, with all that being said, as always, I hope you got something out of this video, and I really appreciate you watching.
Thanks, Jess.